Alright, so this is going to be the first lesson for Have You Ever Loved a Woman. It's a blues in C. Just to recap, we're doing the intro solo here. The blues in C. Which means we also have this, it could be C7. The 4 chord right across this shape, F or F7. And our 5 chord is G or G7. So, because in a blues, you can interchange a major chord and a 7th chord. Another thing, check this out. If you take the C7 shape and play it up here, so in other words, it's the same fret where your root is, you have the 5 chord, G7. Chords move like notes, so if you have C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, your chords move the same way. This played up here is a C sharp, E7, D7, E7. And coming back to this. So our major shape at the 8th fret for C. If we just take these top 3 strings, we have the root of the chord, the 5th of the chord, and the 3rd. That's enough to spell out the triad. And just for information purposes, on the 4th string, 8th fret is your 7th. Because if you had this shape, like an F chord, you have your root and your flat 7, which is what the 7th is in a blues. It's a flat 7th. You don't want the major 7th. It's 2 frets behind the root. It's always 2 frets behind the root. So the reason I'm breaking this all down here, this is not random, I have a reason. If we come into the 3rd from the flat 3rd, we have a note. That flat 3rd is included in the blues scale that everybody knows. So we can overlay this scale on top of this shape. And so our first disparity, I've been using that word a lot lately for some reason, is this 8 and 9 here. Flat 3rd to 3rd. And if we add 2nd string, 10th fret, we got the 6th of the scale. This is not in the blues scale. But it is in this. When you do this is 5 and this is 6. With the flat 7th. So we have these and as you can hear, this is where we're going with this. Blues 101 is to play, in this case a C, on the 1st string and slide to the exact same note on the 2nd string. Why? So that we can get from pattern 1 into pattern 2, where we have all these other notes. You may know this as the B.B. King blues box. Okay, so our first lick. You want to use the middle finger because it's a slide, and this will put you into position. Then that was 8 to 9 on the 3rd string, 8 to 10 on the 2nd string, 8 on the 1st string with your ring finger, slide to 13 on the 2nd string. See? Now we can play, that was lick 2. There's about 11 or 12 licks in this intro. 2nd finger 8 to 2nd finger 9, slide. 1st finger 8 to 3rd finger 10. 1st finger 8 to third finger 13. So you can pretty much figure out what that is. We don't bend up for this one, so watch. We'll play the first three notes, 13, 11, 13. I'm going to push it up without playing it. Release it with a pull off. I'm going to land on the root, C, but I'm going to do a quick. So this goes like this. A lot of people, especially my students, I notice this, will play it like this because they don't know how to just come from a bend with silence, and that's in the right hand. So you play those notes, and I'm touching the string here to stop it, and I push it up silently without doing anything, then I hit it. So it has to only be down. And this is another common thing, is to work our way back to pattern 1, which is an 8 through this way. Put some vibrato on here. 11 on the second string, 12 with your middle finger. Move your middle finger to 10. And your first finger at 8. Hammer 8 to 9, that flat third to third I was talking about. And then we come to 10 on the 5th string. So a lot of people ask, why do we come to 10 on the 5th string? Why not 4th string? What is this note? This is the 5th of the chord. 5th of the chord is G. It's also the root of the 5 chord. So the 1 chord and the 5 chord have 2 notes in common, and that's G. I like to do this with 2 different fingers. You can lay your finger flat, but I don't like the ringing that occurs with that. The Clapton does this because a lot of times he'll finish the phrase like this. He does this little pull. He does this with his first finger back here, and he uses 2 and 3 on different strings. Sometimes I'll move it there. If I could use 2 words, and only 2 words, to describe this solo, I would say laid back. That refers to his timing, the way he plays on the beat. So for instance, he hits this on the beat. There's a little hesitation. It actually took me a while to be able to nail it on the video before he starts this. And you're going to find that a lot in this solo. To actually really, really nail the exact timing takes a lot of just playing it over and over and over and getting used to the feel. There's not even any cues from a drummer or piano that will really help you to sync up his playing. Slide 9 on the 3rd string to 8 on the 1st string. Come back down 11, 10, 8. So we have our 11th from the blues scale, and what I was previously talking about, the 10th fret, which is a major 6th of the scale. We're going to play 2 different strings here. 3rd string 10, 2nd string 8, before we do our hammer on the 3rd string 8 to 9, those 2 different thirds. 4th string 10, 8. And we're going to add an extra note here, 10, 9, 8 on the 5th string. And we're going to shift. We want the next note here. We want to grab it with a specific finger, our 3rd finger, so that we can do this. This is another 3rd, flat 3rd to 3rd in a different octave. So what he did here, he ends with. And that's why you want your 3rd finger here and 1 and 2 here. Three notes here. Land. Give that some vibrato and slide it away. Oh, you want to slide into the first note too. So we have some 13 to 15, fast 16th note triplet. Land on 16 and give it a quarter note bend. And we have 4 even notes with some vibrato at the end. 13, 15 on the third string, 13 with vibrato, and 15 bent. So even though we played 16 before, we bend 15 at the end. Just for information purposes, if you know all 5 patterns of blues scale, we're now in pattern 3, which is our root here. There's your root again. Octave roots. So the next one starts with a rake. And what I do is I take the first finger and I just cover the strings here. So when I come through about 3 or 4 strings, they're all dead except for the high note, which I'm playing with my ring finger. So it just came right through. Nice little harmonic there. 13 with your first finger, then second string 16, 13, 15 on the third string, 15, hammer pull off combination 13, 15, on and off, 15 on the third string, I think I explained that well. Now we're back pattern 1, the 8th fret. Very simple phrase. Second string 11 to 8. Landing on 10 on the third string. We'll do that hammer on again. 9 to 10. I'm sorry, 8 to 9. It's written wrong on my paper. 10 on the D string. 10 on the A string. Notice I land with 2 different fingers. Next phrase. So you see he starts out like the beginning, but he doesn't come to this note. He just, little rest. Again, he pushes 10 up without playing first, silent, with a pull off to 8. Now, between 2 strings, 10, 8, 10, and then the hammer one more time, 8 to 9. So this is such a blues move, to go from a flat third to a major third. It's kind of like the definition of blues guitar. Push it up. I may be pushing out a little too much. I think it's, yeah, it's only a 1 fret bend. Another definition of blues guitar playing is sliding into this and sliding back in. That type of thing. So this one actually I think came on the beat. So on the second string, oh, another interesting thing. You see this note here? So where a lot of people go wrong playing the blues, when they just start jamming with a pentatonic scale over like a 1-4-5, it sounds good until they get to the 5, because they don't understand that the 5 chord contains tones different from the majority of the tones in the pentatonic scale. This note is not in the pentatonic scale. This is the 9th or the 2nd of the scale. It is part of the 5 chord. So this note gets added on the 5 chord, the 2nd degree. So you're going to come up with different phrases when you play over the 5 chord if you know what you're doing. 8-8, second string. 10 on the first string. That's our note that matches the 5 chord. We're going to hammer 8 to 10, hammer pull off combination. 11-8 on the second string. 10 on the third to 8. Listen to this note. So again, he slides the 12. Not really for any purpose other than expressiveness, because he doesn't do anything up here. But it's just like, things you can't do on any other instrument. Play the same note on places. Because he comes right back out. He holds that for a while, and he slides with his ring finger back into pattern 1. And now we're back up here, pattern 3. (13, 15) hammer pull combination on the first string, 16 on the second string, 13 first string, 16, 13 on the second, 15 on the third string, 13 on the second string twice. Then I checked this because I actually saw him do it. He moves up here. So with his first finger, he played 16 on the second string. If you're interested, this is pattern 4 of the blues scale. He bent up 18 full, but 16 half. I mean, that's so bluesy. He does not play that note. I just wanted to have the phrase land on the root. Up. Quick note on Clapton's technique. He hardly ever uses the pinky. So he actually would play this with fingers 1 and 2, and the third finger. Last phrase. See, we're going to have 11 set up here already, because we're going to rake to it. Again, I use my first finger. I'm covering the D and G strings, and I'm playing through 3 strings. It's just a little expressiveness. And then come down the scale on this string, on the third string. One more time. We're going to 10 and 10. So we're going to do this. And it looks like a standard, but it's not, because when he gets, so he pushes 10 up, releases it, pulls off to 8, but he pushes that up a little bit. See, so this minor third to third becomes, but not all the way, just getting there, never really reaching this pitch, which in this case is E. So it's like an E flat plus a little bit. Pushes that up. Again, I think it's really uncomfortable to go like flat fingered. Plus they ring together. This is not good. I'm going to run through the whole thing real quick. Maybe I'll put some tab up for this part. Pattern 2. Only down. We're going to work our way back. In the middle, we're going to stop for a little vibrato. At speed, we really don't have a lot of time here, but it does give it a few shakes. We're going to move our hand away and slide back into 9. 11, 10, 8, 10, 8, hammer. 3 notes. Land with your ring finger. Hammer. Even though we played 16, we pushed 15 up. Rake. Almost like the beginning, but he breaks the phrase and changes it. Oh, by the way, this one is not slid. Like the beginning, he went, but he just plays 1 and 2. Pause. 5 chord. So we want this note. Same pitch, different string. Pull shuffle that a little bit. I may not have mentioned that before, but after this first hammer, 13, 15, 13 to 16 on the second string, little pull on that, not on the following. Move up quickly. Come back to pattern 1, rake to your pinky or third finger. He uses his third finger. I'm comfortable with the pinky. Right next to each other. On this one, first finger goes up a little bit. Alright, that covers that.